My name is Michael Hogan. I'm working with Teagasc in the Neen office in County Tipperary, and I'm a dairy enterprise advisor working out of that base in Neenah. Pure and simply, they see an opportunity to generate a better income, and this is going to be necessary going forward, because by standing still, effectively it could mean a reduction in the actual family farm income for that unit. But firstly, the farmer has to have the facilities in place, and the main facility being to have additional stock reared so as that he can bring those into his own herd, and it's a lot cheaper to go that road than to have to go out and purchase expensive milking stock. So start breeding on time and be planning for about 3 years' time when quotas are gone, and to have numbers on the ground is the easiest way of expanding. There's a variation in efficiencies at farm level, so there isn't much point in expanding an inefficient farming system. So one should focus on trying to get the most out of their present farm system. If it's 50 cows they're milking, and if they can get the maximum income from that 50 cows, it might be as good as expanding to 100 cows that are inefficient. So to get these efficiencies, it's in the area of doing a very good job in the grassland and breeding side of the business. And I suppose one will know where they stand if they can assess the business by looking at their most recent set of business accounts as prepared by an accountant, or if they have been availing of the Teagasc Dairy Profit Monitor. There's marvellous information which can tell the level of efficiency presently. Anytime there's a change in a business, it ties up a lot of extra money to have these extra milking cows on the farm. Obviously the cattle system will have gone, so there won't be the same sale of cattle during the season, so that's money that won't be in the cash flow. Also, to develop the facilities to carry the additional dairy enterprise, it will involve maybe upgrading the milking parlour, upgrading the infrastructure on the farm, and there's a general demand on cash to do all of those. There is a lot of interest in expansion, and I think the main expansion is among the existing dairy farmers. There's a lot of scope on existing dairy farms to carry additional cows. There would also be quite a lot of interest in among the non-dairy farmers to set up from the beginning, but this is a pretty major undertaking in that there's a lot of consideration, a lot of planning required from a non-dairy base. It's much easier for the existing farmer, and I suppose gradual expansion even is easier than fast expansion. Well, the current suckler farmer is coming from a base where he has limited experience on the management of the dairy enterprise, and there are a whole lot of different skills involved in looking after the dairy cow compared to the suckling enterprise. It involves a time issue as well, in that dairy farmers are milking twice a day, 7 days a week. It's a different lifestyle, and that is I suppose it's down to lifestyle. It's down to maybe the age of the farmer, in that the structure or the age of that farmer would be much more suited if he's in the young age bracket rather than in the older age bracket, and it's a young man's game. Yes, we have a number of very, very good clients who are expanding all of the time, and Jim Delahunty is our example in my area, in that he has been a monitor farm through the Teagasc Arabon program for a number of years, and he has expanded on a gradual basis, which seems to be has worked very effectively for him. This was decided because of quota being unavailable, only in limited amounts. More recently, he would have acquired additional quota, which allowed him to expand, and in 3 years he did double the herd from maybe 48 cows to about 96, and he did the extra investments as the requirements were needed for that expansion. So this is the areas maybe where it's possibly easier to do it coming from a certain base, and rather than taking on a huge expansion in a shorter period. Certainly the business planning is crucially important for somebody who is trying to enlarge at a rapid pace. Jim Delahunty would have been examining his profit monitor figures over the last number of years and he would have based his expansion program on the comparison between the dairying and all the other enterprises. So by producing additional replacement stock due to a full dairy AI program, he had numbers of stock coming on the ground, which today he would have surplus to his needs, and he could expand further, only for the fact that he now has reached his limit on the dairy milking platform. His land is his new quota now, and for that reason he possibly will need to see a new opportunity for land if that ever becomes available. Jim and his family before him, they were always very loyal Teagasc clients. His father Tom would have started with a herd of about 30 cows, and Jim took over maybe in 1995, and during all that period Jim has worked very closely with me. He would have joined his own local discussion group which was set up by Teagasc, and that group would meet once a month, and we would have discussed everything on the technical side of good farming, and he was very fast to take home the relevant messages, and he'd be the first to put it into practice. So the influence of the discussion groups has been major with Jim's development, and he has now put in place a very healthy business as a result of monitoring it on an annual basis through the Teagasc Dairy Profit Monitor facility, which we have in Teagasc. Expansion is progress, and it's progress if it's efficient. And to keep pace with, we'll say, current living standards which are rising, and to keep pace with current costs of production, unless somebody has a bigger scale of enterprise, they won't be able to hold their expected income.